Welcome to this session. This session is occasioned by my discovery that I've got a major problem with the shoulder of the arm that I use to hit the tennis ball with. I am, after all, right-handed. And I also, before I want to start, though, tell you a little bit of a perhaps final comment about the glaucoma issue that I brought up at the beginning of July, 2 months ago. Perhaps if you've seen the video, my wife Ellie discovered she had glaucoma. The symptoms were pretty direct and easy to diagnose, and we went to work on it. There are several videos on that. Please take a look if you're curious. The comment today is rather simple. This morning I discovered her reading a legal contract. There's a lot of fine print in it. And as I walked into the room, she looked up and she said, "I'm reading the fine print on this." I said, "Are you having any problem?" And she said, "No, I just get close to it and read it easily." I asked her if she could do that a month ago. She said, "No," rather emphatically. This woman's vision is better than I have ever known it to be. We've known each other a little less than 20 years. Maybe that's why the glaucoma symptoms were produced, so that we could actually go to work on this and take care of it and produce vision in my wife better than she's ever had before as an adult, maybe ever, period. Well, here's another situation. We tend to think about medical problems as being basically negative. Maybe they're not negative. Maybe they're being produced in order so that we can realize, hey, go to work, guys, fix it. Well, here is definitely a fix-it problem. The trouble is, if I have to make any sense at all about how it happened, I have to go all the way back to my teenage years when I took senior life-saving. Part of my test was to jump in the water and save somebody who was drowning. Well, the somebody who was pretending to drown was my senior life-saving instructor. Aside from outweighing me by 50 or 60%, he was obviously a phys ed, big guy, and if I weighed 175 pounds, that was it. I was diabetic, but diabetics generally can't digest food very well, so they don't produce big bodies. Anyway, in the process of his thrashing, he pulled this shoulder completely out of joint, and in this one he did so much damage to the cartilage that the body eventually just discarded it. This never healed. I ended up having an operation to do it, and now the shoulder works pretty well. This is more interesting. As I understand it, the body immediately discarded the cartilage and asked if there's some community that could come in to provide a cushion so that I could use the shoulder. The measles virus volunteered and did it, and has been doing it for, well, I was 12 years old. I'm now 60-some. So it's been 50 years that virus has provided the cushion that this arm needed in order to provide normal functioning. Well, two things have changed since then. The first is I'm not diabetic anymore. I cured myself. And the problem of not being able to heal this is that I was diabetic. I mentioned that a moment ago. Well, I'm not now, so it should be possible. Second, what I'm making when I'm playing tennis, I am doing movements that can no longer be they're not normal. Not. They're way beyond the ability of this community to cope with. And in fact, I've noticed myself that there are certain movements, I'm not even going to show it to you, that I could do a few times at the beginning and get spectacular results. It's my serve, it's really good. But I could only do it a few times. And after that, for all of the encouraging and talking and blabbing and whatever, this joint can't handle it. So there's some work to be done. Now, part of the work that Ellie and I have done on the eye problem has involved eating a lot of spices. And one of the results of eating spices, this is pretty well known, is it really kills off populations of a whole lot of different things, like, for example, the measles virus. So while this has been happening, this shoulder has been getting looser, 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 and it's finally at the point at which I am a little afraid literally to raise my arm for fear I don't know what the joint will do. So the first thing to do was to ask why. This is the best I can give you as an answer. And I'll bet you're shaking your head and thinking this man is crazy. If I go back to how I felt about such things, oh, say 15 years ago, I would have shaken my head and said this man is crazy. Well, if I'm crazy, I'm enjoying it, but the explanation we gave for the glaucoma worked well. In fact, better than anything I ever tried previously. Maybe this one will work well too. Let's try it. So the first thing I did was find some symbols that would bring the body back to its original ability to take responsibility for joints like this. What I'm realizing now is that since the body eliminated its ability to maintain them, I've got potential joint problems all over my body. Elbows, fingertips, toes. How about the spine? In every case, the measles virus was stepping in and saying, we'll do what we can. But you know, there are limits. And I suspect that it's time for the body to go back and take over again. Anyway, the new symbols are helping. And if I understand it correctly, the source of the information was, yeah, you already know, don't you? It's the measles virus. This is going to be very interesting. I can tell you I feel very busy today, and you probably won't be surprised if I tell you I don't expect to pick up the tennis racket today. Tomorrow, well, we'll talk about that later. Talk to you again. Bye now.